Hey guys, how's it going? July 30th, 2022, and we're rapidly approaching that last month of summer. And so it's been okay this summer. I've actually, it's been too hot sometimes to do anything. This weekend's going to be good though. We've had some good trips. When I've been off, I still got some vacation time coming up in August as well. We got a long weekend here in Canada, so I'm off Monday, so that's always cool. Um, Anyways, I'll get to the chat in a moment. This was the first time I think I opened up Run8, and I opened it up empty world. It was the first time I opened up Run8 in, it's been about a couple weeks, I think, since I shut down. It feels that way anyways, about 2 weeks. Somebody was surprised they couldn't get on the server. They hadn't been around for a while, and they've been busy, and a lot of people have been busy, and it's like, oh my god, my nails. That's another thing. Whew. But, so, I thought I had the itch again. In fact, a few days ago, I really thought about putting the rail driver away. I didn't even do that in the year and a half. I don't think I did that in the year and a half that I was not doing anything in Run8. I'd never put the rail driver away because I always felt as though I was going to make use of it somehow. But it's here. It's not in the way, so that's fine. Let me just mute this for a second because I just want to take care of my nose here. Should have done that beforehand, but didn't notice it, of course, until after I start recording, so just a second here. Alright, we'll see how that lasts. So anyways, I thought I had the itch again. It was kind of weird because I thought I had it, and I knew I had some time this morning. In fact, I woke up still thinking that I had the itch, and as soon as I started going into it, I was like, alright, well, that'll be okay, I guess. And then I looked at that, I was like, yeah, well, that'll be okay, I guess. I mean, I wasn't thinking maybe that out loud, but that's kind of how I felt. That'll be okay, I guess. I'm like, that's not the itch that I was thinking I had. Do I have the itch for this simulator? Absolutely. Because this simulator is awesome. And this isn't a rant against Run8. I want to make clear of that. And it's not that I care, about speaking my mind or anything like that. Run8 is got a good business model for themselves and for the majority of people that use it. It works really well. They go for the big routes. They go for the ones that are going to be popular and generate revenue, which makes sense because, I know Jason. He's working on Fitzgerald sub. Well, he's got a job. He's doing other things. Managing trucks or whatever. He can't be working on this all the time, and I know that feeling because I've wanted to do like other things, like even build my own simulator or do other programming tasks, and you just don't have the energy. And of course, when weekends come along, when I have these long weekends, I'm not going to be sitting in front of a computer and saying to my son, no, I don't want to see, I got to do programming this weekend. No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go with him and I'm going to do things. He's been cooped up in the house because of all the construction upstairs. The ex has the redoing the kitchen or whatever. Just had to have that done. But that caused some disruptions. And the reason why I got out, there's a lot of reasons why I got out of Run8. I knew that the disruptions, that was minor. I wasn't too worried about that. Disruptions are disruptions. I can deal with that. But it was a lack of activity. There was a few people that were not around You've been busy, and it shows. When those people leave, it's just like boom, it shows. And I would come on, and it seemed like, every other day or whatever, all I would do is go into the dispatch screen and clean up, because Otto was running, all day or whatever, or all overnight, and I would just clean up Otto if he got into issues. But yeah, Fitzgerald sub is coming. I think it appeals more to me, but I've taken a look at it, and I'm not 100% sure of that. It's not going to be exactly what I'm looking for, but it's probably going to be the best thing I've seen in Run8. That's going to come close. So I'm certainly going to, at that point, probably purchase it and see what happens. The reason why I think it appeals to me is, I'll tell you the pros and cons. Number one, the pros is going to be the scenery. The scenery in the southeast is really a lot of fun. The fact that it has a nice grade, going around the Appalachians, and that's going to be fun. And so I'm looking forward to those. I'm looking forward to bigger industries, potentially, but not as many industries. I think I'm going to get that, from what I can tell. What I'm not looking forward to is really no big yards. I mean, yes, there's going to be 2 yards at Montgomery and Fitzgerald. So those will be fine. It's I'm looking, I've said all along, I'm ideally looking for 1 yard that I can operate out of, that gives me and whoever else runs the flexibility of running in a yard and being able to manage a switching district. There are those places in Run8, but they get pretty complex. They either get complex or they're boring. The UP Mojave, for example, the UP Mojave sub bores the hell out of me. I'm not the northern part, the southern part I'm talking about. So if I was to run a switching district out of UP Mojave, which would deal with the flyer coming in and out, and then the locals. I mean, you got a Lone Pine local. You got the other one that comes down to. I'm not gonna go follow this. I've been there. It just takes too long. Let me just go to the chat here. We'll see if anything's going on. Hey, there's Mike. Good morning. That's the other thing I've looked at too, was the Northeast as well. I was thinking of Syracuse, but again, a lot of industries. Syracuse has a lot of industries to deal with, so it becomes complicated. I'm looking for something that fits, that really fits, and it's a shame because I mean, guys like Mike and Jason, they put a lot of work into these routes, but as far as what I want to operate, I don't. It's different than, you're working for a railroad. You're working. However, you got as many people to handle the job that is needed, and it runs 24/7. So that's great. Let me just see. Morning. I'm doing good. If I may, I would suggest Donner Pass. I looked at it. All right, I've looked at the maps at Donner Pass. Yeah, I was looking. I was looking at it. It's close. I was looking at it. I think I'm already on the page right now. In fact, or I was. No, I got rid of it. But yeah, there's a yard at Sparks. I mean, I would actually probably operate at Sparks as opposed to Roseville, and run a district off of there. I thought about it. I understand that there's the split. Bakersfield subs another one. So those are two possibilities. What I'm looking for, and I'm looking for something where you're running 1 yard, just 1 yard, and it doesn't have to be a hump yard, but running 1 yard and having a bit of a switching district, but not massive number of it or a lot of industries. Sometimes you go in and you handle some big industries, so you got full trains worth, maybe even go in a direction or whatever, but Kofax plus switching industries on a 2% grade, quite challenging. Yeah, Sparks would be the yard. I looked at Sparks, that looks industry. Well, the Matrix, as far as the Matrix is automated for the most part. It basically brings in the AI data now. So the Matrix is fine. I don't do much in that. In fact, I was trying to automate it towards the end. So no, I'm not into data entry either. No, I don't want a short line. No, not really. It actually adds to it. Um, the data actually tries to add into it, so that's not. I actually like. Uh, I actually like the setup and coding, but it's a niche exactly. Uh, it's been too overwhelming. Yeah, see, that's the key right there, and that's what happened. Has nothing to do with the Matrix. Those things actually were helping because nobody was doing data entry, and I had it that way. I was running purely off the AI data. So setting it up took a while, and I put a lot of work into setting up, trying to get the trains doing what I wanted. What happened was Waycross was getting overwhelmed. I was stuck in Waycross all the time, and I couldn't get out of it. I loved Waycross, but there wasn't enough people to run Waycross. It was just me, for the most part. I mean, there was others too, but odd time come in and out. And the other thing too, you talk about sapping energy. Nobody on my server ran mainline trains, which is an oddity because in the past I used to always have more people who wanted to run mainline trains than switch. This time around, it was been the exact opposite. What ends up happening, and oddly enough, because you got this AI dispatcher, which is really good, except if you're running it overnight and you're running it in the afternoon, you're going in and you're cleaning up these cornfield meats because Otto, for whatever reason, screwed up and tried to route too much, route traffic, or didn't route it properly, or whatever. Um, yeah, no scenery, and that's what got me away from Mojave. Was actually probably the closest I would be as far as operation wise, except there's no scenery. Barstow's another one. Running out of Barstow, um, and running an Edison local plus a local to down the Cajon sub there, and the other one to Cadiz. Those would be great under some scenic conditions. The problem is they're not scenic. The only one that's even closely remotely scenic is Cajon, and you don't really get into that by the time you get over to its. I think it's Oro Grande or wherever the hell it does its the limit of its switching district. But nah, it's not. And like I say, it's got nothing to do with Run8. Run8, I'm quite happy with. But this was the time where, we had the dispatching in, which was unexpected for version 3. I didn't expect AI dispatching. I wouldn't have been back had there not been AI dispatching. And AI dispatching was cool, and it's going to get better. But I don't know. It's a catch-22 because the developers and those running routes want something that's going to generate income for their time. I totally get it. But at the same time, it's very overwhelming. It needs people to run. No matter how much AI you have, the only other AI that I can think of that would even come remotely to help is, you already got the AI hump too, which is another big thing. Would be an AI that knows how to actually switch. That gets really complex, but it's possible. I would say nothing, everything's possible, but there's ways of as far as the locals go. I usually manually anything that's involving the manifest. I would, and this goes back to the matrix was because what it did was it would I was getting it so that it's scheduled, and it allowed me to know when to spawn certain trains and what to expect out of it. So that worked out good. But I usually manually spawn those. I let the other trains that don't interact do it, but well, it doesn't have enough scenery. But that's, maybe it could have more scenery, but it's basically a desert. So, um, yeah, being able to route inbound trains would be a nice. I was thinking of doing that, Mike. I was thinking, and actually, that was what I was originally got the itch for. I was going to start running single player again, and I was going to run 3 or 4 hours and just do my thing and then go back to it. I was thinking about doing that, and that's I just don't have. There's a certain type of operation that I want to have. I don't mind running a yard. I don't think the problem is when you introduce a bowl, something the size of Wake, or even any bowl for that matter. Bowls are pretty good. I haven't really tried. I really haven't tried the AI humping in places like a Selkirk or on the California routes. I haven't tried. I haven't tried that. So that might be a lot easier this time around. I shouldn't say I haven't tried it because I think I was using it at the very beginning of version 3 when I first got back into it. Once version 3 was released. So using a bowl or using the AI hump could be a big thing, and of course I'm in a monster at Waycross. I love the monster because it allows me to do a lot more, but it's a lot more because they have more tracks. You're able to utilize those tracks and really make some prototypical blocks and cuts and all that other stuff. The problem with that is it's time consuming for a trim. So it's a catch 22. So making one of those, I even looked at Roseville's bowl too, and that seems similar. But hey, Aaron. Uh, Yeah, the switching of the priorities is good because that can mix things up a bit. Yeah, exactly. And Mike's a developer. He knows. he knows. He knows what it's like. It's if you don't have the manpower, and that's the thing. So I would love to see. I was honestly, I want Run8 to gain in popularity. I really do. Uh, bringing more people on. Problem is, it's kind of a niche in itself because you get some of these guys over on trades and complain about the friggin' scenery and saying, "Oh yeah, it's not, it's you got too many this textures and that texture." I'm like, come on, that's all you got to complain about? I mean, please, if you don't like it, don't play it. So, um, it's that's just what the game engine and trying to limit the amount of uh, frame rate hits and try to make it look as busy as you can and all that other stuff. I get that. As far as you get comparisons to you know everybody gets on Goo and Ga. Of course, they're very critical of Train Sim World as well. But Train Sim World, everybody's critical because they're small routes. Well, the reason why they're small routes is because you try to develop all that kind of eye candy. And number one, you're only going to be able to go so far. You can't run what Run8 does in Train Sim World. You just can't. There's no route or network that can handle what Run8 does in Train Sim World. I mean, even the Hamilton area, which I was very interested in, is kiboshed. They don't even have the harbor. They have half the harbor, but they just have this invisible wall or something. I'm just like, yeah, no. uh, yeah, the AI, the AI. I use AI exclusively with humping. Auto kept giving coal and grain trains priority over everything. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Yeah, tried a few things like cutting half industry. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Is don't. I mean, you take a look. A lot of the industries may or may not be active. I kind of date what I'm running right now, so I don't know if it was active or not. I could probably research it, but I think I'm running into the same issue. So I like the other day I was going through Sail Away, and that was fun. But after a while, it gets boring. It's fun, but it gets boring, and I'll always go back to it when I feel like sailing. Uh, Even American Truck Simulator, as great as the graphics are in that, and the night graphics are just fabulous. There's another state coming out next month here, early next month. I think it's was it Montana? Yeah, and I'm thinking about getting it. I got every other state right now. I got everything. Unlike Run8, which I don't have every route. I never went down to Seligman, and I never went to Bakersfield, and I haven't gone to the Canyon or whatever the heck it is, Roseville. I can't think of the name of it. Whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, I guess it's Roseville. But I will go probably Fitzgerald. Uh, you know, Railroads Online spline updates. Oh yeah, Yeah, I've thought about Railroads Online again. Railroads Online's is an interesting one because what's cool about Railroads Online. How's it going, Ben? Anyways, haven't seen you in a bit. Um, Railroads Online, I haven't really followed it too much, but I knew the Spline update was coming. I followed it enough. Even Emmett was mentioning about that the other day, thinking about it. Um, so that could be an option in the fall as well. And I'm not saying, I'll be gone from Run8 forever. I just don't see myself at the moment. I've actually, I'll show you a few things here. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, ATS is great, especially with all the states because they start come back to the dark side. You still playing that, Ben? Yeah, it's better. Single player, it's awesome. I mean, it tries to do multiplayer. I don't know how the hell my clients. I ran a server for a while. I don't know how my clients like Ben and those guys can stand it. I would throw up. But single player is awesome, and it's a lot of fun. It really is. Um, there's a purpose. There's more of a sense of purpose. Is it a Run 8? No, no. Is it got it doesn't have all the modern physics down, and it certainly doesn't know how to do multiplayer like Run 8. At least not yet. But it tried to do. It was more of a physics model. So I mean, Railroads Online is still an option for me. Run 8's still an option for me. I haven't. I mean, Run 8's here. Run 8's not going off my system. I'm gonna keep updating it, and see what some of the updates look like, and I would still recommend Run 8 for a lot of people. Um, just because I have a certain thing that I like to do with Run 8 doesn't mean that others aren't going to like Run 8, especially mainline. If you like running mainline trains and that's all you're interested in, just get auto going, and you'll have a blast. It's a lot of fun. It's fun to go back to too. So you don't really need a system. You could take any route, whether it's northeast, southeast, southwest, Roseville. You can take any of those routes, I'm sure, and you can have a lot of fun with it. And yeah, you're gonna get auto does a few things, but it's a hell of a lot better than having to dispatch yourself. So running mainline trains for me, it's kind of weird because for me, it's probably more me than anything. Honestly, I can look in the mirror and say that. And I kind of was like that at the end of the rope with Run 8, the end of Run 8 version 2 to begin with. Run 8 version 3 got me back in because of that AI and the potential to get a lot of people. Because if you had things, and I thought the AI dispatching was going to be enough to bring a lot of people on and enjoy switching with AI, causing interference and that. But I really didn't get that many people, which is okay. It is what it was, and it's I'm not gonna point fingers and say, oh yeah, it's because of this server and that. Like, who cares? People want to go to whatever they want to go to, and there's not too many forums out there that are neutral. Train Sim is the only forum out there, and it really doesn't have that many people following it. It's like people pick their, they pick their, whether it be the other one. What's the other one? Highball's the other one. So those are the two big ones. They pick what they like, and they stick with it, and that comes with a few people that stuck around with RTS as well. I'm not saying that they're exclusive to me, and they don't need to be. So I'm not worried about that. But no, I got no problems with Run 8. I mean, my only issue with Run 8 all along was the lack of transparency. Now it's like, okay, I know what I got. We got version 3. There's no other announcements out there. We know Fitzgerald's coming. You know, I've chatted with Jason, and I know certain things. Let's just say that. I can't say any more, but we'll see what happens. But good shit. And the best is yet to come. So it's still going to be one that I continue to monitor. Oh, the roller coaster race video? No, I don't do that shit. I see a lot of people doing shit like that, but hey, whatever they like. Oh, Comrade Kool-Aid? Oh, cool. Well, maybe I'll, once the client side gets better, maybe I'll check it out. Eventually, you had to throw in the towel. Oh, okay, so you're active, but you threw in the towel. Why'd you throw in the towel? And I'm not really bored of Run8. I'm actually... I know what I want. I mean, I really know what I want. I'm actually considering... There's something that really got my attention. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get this. It's on sale right now. If you guys haven't seen this, I'll show you. Oh, no, I don't want to go to Discord. Do I? I want to go to Steam. Where's my Steam? Okay. Hang on a second, I'll show you. What the hell's here? Let me close up Run8 for a bit. I'm not doing anything in Run8 right now, so we'll go into. And no, I'm not going to go into Sailwind. Those are the two. I don't know why these things don't even work anymore. They don't even go into the proper things. Or at least they don't launch them. But there is. I'll show you this if you haven't seen this already. It's on sale till August the 4th. And I got to admit, it got my attention. I just got Sailwind, and that got my attention, and that was exactly what I was looking for as far as sailing wise. But I want more exploration than what it offers. It's fun. It's fun to go back to, though. It's one of those things that I still like. I've got quite a few hours. What do I got? I can't even read that. Whatever. My son plays RimWorld right now. ATS is in there. Railroads Online still there. We haven't. I haven't touched it in since Run8 really. Okay, where was it? Oh yeah, I gotta go to the store. Oh, what the hell was it called? I should have put it on my wish list. I'll find it. I know where to find it. It'll come up in my suggestions. Yeah, this is it. Sweet Transit. This is interesting. So it is. Oh no, this is all Canadian money, so don't get alarmed by the price. It's a lot cheaper in US. So it's on 10%. So whatever you want to go do a calculator for Canadian to US, you'll get it's cheaper in the US. It's an early access game, but it is it's a lot of it's. I won't play the sound in it, but because it just plays music or whatever. But it's got the vibes of. It has the vibes of what do you call it? Yeah, what the hell is it? I mean, those things look ridiculous, but it's still cool. It has an interesting commodity system. I mean, Some of that, I mean, with the grains and the people working the fields and the different mines and all that, like they're actually out there. You actually do city building, and then you start getting into all these different things, and you know they need certain things and blah blah blah. I mean, the bridges look ridiculous, but that's kind of a turn off. But that isn't. That's a pretty huge friggin' network. Um, so yeah, some good.
Hello, welcome to Sweet Transit. Teach
Why?
and teens.
Why are you talking to me? Yeah. So it's on for sale till August the 4th. Um, so that's kind of cool. But that's that, believe it or not, that actually got me into the idea of, well, Jesus, that's I kind of have certain ideas as far as what I want to develop for a train simulator. If I could ever get myself to program, that's the trick. Then you have to put in the work. But yeah. Oh, I already saw it come back to the dark side. What am I looking at here? Oh, here we go. I can't say too much, but of course, I've been real busy. Yeah. You've been busy on your stuff? Oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the data stuff is cool. And I enjoy it. I love the AI. That's really cool. Oh, that's cool. Lawnmower sim? I don't know about that one. Uh, oh, cool. DJI Phantom 3 Pro. I can't get my firmware update even though a new SD card. I don't know anything about that. I know the software side, but hardware. Captain of Industry, yeah, I think so. A lot of those things, they're pretty good. Factorio is another one that kind of reminds me of that this game I was just looking at. OpenTDD, that's always cool. I haven't done that myself, but I know it. It's not my cup of tea, but A Train, yeah, yeah, I remember A Train. I had that. It's what's the classic one? Jesus, I can't think of. My brain can't work. Um, there's the classic one. I want to call it Train Simulator, but it ain't Train Simulator. Railroad Tycoon. That's what I had the job. And what's cool is that map is huge, which what is this thing doing? Is this thing still talking to me? No. Stop talking. I was like, what the hell is it doing? Um, but yeah, I lost my train of thought there. What was I doing? Anyways, yeah, but the big map type thing kind of grows in line. Well, I could tell you guys because chances are I'll never do it, and if somebody actually develops it, maybe I'll go for it. I'm thinking of having a like a 2D or a um, not a 2D, but it's basically like a 3D graphic on a 2D plane in that same concept that we just saw, except making it 1-to-1 scale. And I was going to use my drone imagery for it. The problem with drone imagery is when you look down on it, the way the shadows are depends on the time of day, so it really screws you up. So it's better to use drone imagery for reconnaissance and to get an idea of what something looks like, if for whatever reason, say for example a building. A lot of times like I was on the Sudbury trip, you don't know what a building looks like unless you have street view that's nearby, or you can you get your drone in there, and because it's private property, you can't be on the ground, but you can fly. You can fly above it, and it's limited to your range. I was up to a rock loader, a Herzog rock loader, and some of the mines up there. It's a I think it was I don't know if it was a nickel or a copper mine. They got all kinds of nickel and copper mines up there, and the slag the molten slag turns into a rock that they use on the ballast up there. They just load them up on Herzog trains, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And somebody else got a better shot because they actually walked in there and took a picture of the thing. I was just like, oh, I was jealous to see that, but they weren't actually loading it at the time. But to just actually see the tipple and all that other stuff, and then I went like 1.5 kilometers in off of the highway, well into like I had some I showed a video. It's on my channel. I showed different pictures of my trip. Sudbury is actually an area which I'd love to see for Run8, because what's ideal about Sudbury is you got a 20-track yard that they run all these particular mine locals out of, and you don't have as many industries, but it's a busy yard. It doesn't have so much inbound outbound traffic. A lot of it's through, but when it does, it's really cool, and it connects to two not short lines, but two I don't know what the hell you call. I guess they would be short line operators or Class B railroads or whatever the hell they are, that run, that taken over old main lines that come into the city from secondary lines. So there's a Huron Central, there's the Ottawa Valley, and they all run and interchange one train a day into Sudbury. So it's really a fun yard to watch. Especially you stay at the motel there. You get a view of the yard if you request it or can get it. Ask for a trackside view. Boom, you can see the yard day and night. Now, of course, I didn't stay there the whole time, but it's fun watching the yard change. And of course, Sudbury I'm familiar with simply because of my involvement with the Model Railroad Club that I belong to, and Waterloo Region Model Railroad. It does the Sudbury division in the 1970s. So it's fun, and I operated on that quite a bit over the years. They're getting the signaling system up right now as well. But that would be something I'd love to see for Run8. I wish there was a way. I really wish there was a way that you could still have some type of. I know John's against the editors or whatever. I wish there was a way that they could audit it or implement it, or have like a test area, or have just a test thing which you could play around with for yourself, and then to get it implemented into the game, the Run8 team has to authorize it, if that makes sense. So in other words, it's not shareable, but it's something that you could develop for yourself and screw around with. But that'd be kind of neat. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there, but I mean, these are just wish list things. They don't, they happen. They don't. I don't care. It's no big. Yeah. Maybe do some tutorials on Track Builder 3. Yeah, I haven't done. I don't even know where my Track Builder 3 is. Okay, take care, Bill. Um, yeah, take care, Ben. Love the Waterloo Regional. Yeah, fun stuff that they're doing right now. But no, I just want to like as far as what Run8 has for me right now, it's kind of weird. I get the itch, and then all of a sudden I go into it, and I'm just like, ugh. And it's not the sim itself. It's just trying to find something that I can handle myself that isn't too intensive, that is actually not boring as hell. Which is really that's a tall order. But something like that. But anyways, I think that's where it all boils down. And then there's different ideas that I'm getting. Sail Away's fun. I go back to it. See, now here's the difference. I can tell you right now. Say absent grows the heart or some crap like that. American Truck Simulator was a perfect example of that. You stop playing that for a while, and you start thinking about it again, or you see something, and you're just like, whoa, yeah, I gotta play that. I don't get those vibes of Run8. I would say back in 10 years ago, before Run8, really was going, before Run8 really captured me back in beta, what happened was I would go across Canada and I would literally sit up in the dome cars, and I would stay up most of the night watching the trains and the signals and the dispatching, and it was just so cool. And by the time I got to another trip 5 years later, I wasn't as interested because I knew what it was all about with Run8. I got my fill with Run8 with the signals and the meets and all that other stuff, so it wasn't as intriguing. Now, running mainline trains is not as intriguing to me. So it's really weird because I mean, yes, I there's times where I get into the sim and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm having fun. You got to get back into it till you really start feeling it. But it's nothing that's driving me. I've been doing trains for years, and it's nothing that's really driving me into it. I mean, I saw that sim that I was looking at, and I'm tempted. The only thing that's really tempting me right now is a sale, which is only like a 10% off, which is nuts. I mean, which is nothing, I should say. Um, it's like I'll talk to Emmett later today. He seemed kind of interested in it, but he didn't say, "Oh yeah, you got to get that." he was like, "Yeah, that's cool." Um, but I think he's more interested. Oh, I think he's more interested in Montana. But he's playing RimWorld again right now. He hasn't played RimWorld in a while, and he's having fun with that. So that's kind of like the whole absence thing and getting back into it and whatever. Like I said, I had the itch. I had the idea. I was going to go single player. I was going to start out with one of the yards and start it up. And I started looking at all the maps that I currently had, and I was just like, yeah, it's too much. It's too much work just for single player to set up the way you want it. There's a lot of work involved to set up those things. One of these days, I will have the itch that's big enough that I will want to do that again. Perhaps I was hoping by the time the end of the summer I may do it, but I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do it. I need something that's going to capture me in Run8. That's going to be a lot of fun to run. That you know, or is new. It's always going to be something that's new. I can tell you that right now. And I wish there was more developers for Roots and Run8. I really do. I wish there was a lot going on. The region to the north in California, I mean, okay, it's nice that it's its own separate region. That thing is destined to become part of the California region. It's so close. When I saw Roseville, I thought to myself, God, it's that close. Is that the regions they're talking about? Like, come on. I wanted some region in some place. I got all the prototypical data. There's a lot of prototypical information in Sudbury or around here. Sudbury's kind of interesting with mines and stuff like that, but then you're looking at different car types, and I actually know the ballast hoppers would work. Covered gondolas is one. There's a lot of covered gondolas. The Herzog cars, that's something you see a lot of. Just trying to think. A lot of tanks, which is already in Run8, so there's not too much else as far as new cars. I think the covered gons are the big thing, and that's about it. That takes all the molten crap out, or not, whatever the hell it is. But yeah, ATS is always fun to play again. Because then you forget what everything was. After a while, you play a bunch of routes, and it's just like, yeah, okay, I've ran a truck across a few times and done this, and it's cool. But I can understand why my son's into RimWorld right now. I'm not into it myself, but I do enjoy watching him play it because there's repeat playability to it. And don't get me wrong, there's repeat playability to train sims as well, but it has to be like dynamic to where things change, to create new challenges. Obviously, if you're running mainline trains and you want to run mainline trains, I'm sure there's some places where it would just be fun to run mainline trains. I haven't had the urge to run mainline trains lately. I just haven't. I've done that, and it's just like, yeah. Oh, great, it says no data. Did I lose my internet? Oh, it's back to excellent connection. Okay. Texas Run8 route, yeah. OTR trains. Oh. Yeah, over the road, yeah. It's fun, especially with the AI dispatcher, but it's kind of weird because I haven't. I enjoy more purposeful runs. So, kind of. I mean, a lot of the trains that run in the Southwest are somewhat purposeful, especially when they go down to LA. The problem with LA, and I have LA, the problem with LA is it's freaking a manpower nightmare to get that. So that's intriguing. So maybe at some point Run8's going to find a way to deal with the AI switching as another, that'd be the ultimate AI. They've done. I knew they could do the dispatching one. The AI switching one's a little bit more difficult. The AI dispatching can probably be improved a little bit or tweaked, I'm sure. They'll find a way, but the AI switching, now that's the holy grail right there, because I don't know of anything that does it, but I certainly want to try it. So I've thought about doing that for a long time myself, but I just didn't have the energy, or I'd rather put it that way. I'd rather play than develop. I would much rather play something than develop, and eventually maybe. And my son, he's just not into programming. Neither am I. I know how to do it. He doesn't, or at least no, he doesn't. He likes building routes in trains, but he hasn't done that in a while either. He's He comes down here most of the time now during the summer because of all the crap going on upstairs. But anyways, I'm just rambling around. I don't know. Do I want to look at the? Nah, I was going to look at the different Run8 routes, but I've looked at them. I have looked at. Here, I'll take a quick look. I'll take a quick look and we'll end this. New tab. What am I looking for here? We'll go to the depot. I'll just go right from that. So, I haven't taken a look at Seligman sub in a bit. Again, double track, not ideally fun operationally, but again, if you're not running mainline trains, it doesn't matter. So, and I have no idea if it's the scenery's boring or it's desert, you know, it is what it is. That's not too bad, you know. I hadn't looked at that in a while, but that's not too bad. Kingman's got some. So, West Seligman, East Seligman. That's interesting. I imagine those are crew change tracks for the most part because there might be something here. I don't know. Two bay loader coal. Okay. Yeah. Seems a lot of mainline running on double track, which new core steel. Okay, that looks interesting. Where's this Kingman sub come off of? I didn't even see that. Okay, wait. Where does it come off of here? Well, it's got to be in Kingman, I would imagine. Or something. Oh, there it is. Kingman Industrial Park. Okay. Well, that's interesting. That just... What the hell's the yard for it? Just one track? So it comes all the way down there and does that, but... Where the hell does it run off a yard? I don't even know where that thing would be based out of. Weird. That's just screaming. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, send me, if you're on, go through my Discord if you want, send me a private message and just let me know. I may be interested in that. Basically what I'm looking for, and I haven't seen too many servers do this, I'm looking for a place that isn't afraid to run the AI. As long as people clean it up. So that's what I kind of asked out of the people that were on my server was, you know, if the AI gets screwed up, just clean it up. So that I don't have to come home to a mess of 20 trains. That's not fun. But, I don't even have the route. And I'm not buying the route, so forget that. Don't worry about that. Keep in touch. Watch my channel if I ever decide to get it. I'm not... I just can't cope with it right now. It's somewhat tempting, but yeah, I'm not there yet. Somebody replied to me. But, what was I... Okay, what other routes was I looking at here? LA, I already know what the hell that looks like. That's just a friggin' mess. I was looking at Mohawk Sub as well. I was thinking of running out of Syracuse. Again, there's a lot of work. Maybe too much. The yard is a nice size, but that region stretches a while. Yeah, there's a lot of work. Too much work for me. I don't mind double track so much if you're running a yard that's sorry, when you have a lot of industry, you got basically you got to take a lot of industries out of the equation. That's the only way, or you need more people, and a lot of times it's hard. Either that, or you can run it a few hours at a time, which is another thing. But I haven't done it. I just haven't. I was going to, and I was like, every time I think about it, I'm about to get into it and think, no, I don't want to do this. It's not. It's like it's not getting my juices flowing. Waycross is Waycross. Fitzgerald will be interesting. Yeah, Roseville Sub I was taking a look at, and the humps, good size. Good size just to separate a lot of stuff. So that's fine, but I was more interested in the other side. So I was looking at the other side, and I thought, yes, let's get down here. My mouse wheels seen better days. When I looked at the yard here at Sparks, I was just like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, that's more of a yard my size. And then I saw it's just a few too many. I would much rather deal with, like, look at all these friggin' industries. See, that's right. When I see like a whole shitload of industries, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well that's cool if you got a lot of people who are going to run industries, but if you're doing it by yourself, good luck. Nah, it's not for me. Um, yeah, I would want some help on that for sure. And don't get me wrong, my server I had help. It was, you know, but it was limited help. San Bernardino sub. Nah. Now, Barstow was interesting, except it was kind of barren. So Barstow, I don't even have to show you that because I can look at that and I can tell you. I told you earlier what it was like. So, but I mean, basically has a switching group of three locals, which go a little ways. Cadiz is a friggin' sleeper of a run. Oh, I used to run the Cadiz local. I used to dread it. It was like, okay, do I really want to spend 6 hours on this thing? Even Edison in out of UP Mojave, that's another one. Edison's a tough one. That takes a lot of work to do Edison. It's okay, but that's the thing. You get a bigger yard. You're gonna need more time. That's the catch-22 with that one. You want to run a bigger yard. Well, you're gonna take more. Do you want to do a short line? No, I don't want to do a short line. But like I like the action. It's just I don't want to be switching for, which it's gonna take more than one crew over a 24-hour period. Then that kind of defeats the purpose. But do. Yeah, I don't know about that. Too many industries. Well, see, that's what I mean. Edison's a monster, and the others the others can be a monster too. I mean, I'm looking for. Ideally, I'm looking for runs of. This is why Sudbury was really got into my interest, and I've showed this before. So, I don't know what the hell they are. I don't know if I want to go. No, no. Let's go here. I'll just go with. I'm gonna go with Google. We'll go up here. I've shown this before on here, but I'll show this real quickly, and then we'll end this before 10 o'clock. Come on. My internet is a pain in the ass down here too for doing anything. So if I go up to Sudbury. As I was showing before, this is like a huge freaking crater. But it got tons of resources. And there's a main line that goes through it. Canadian Pacific main line. So, this is the motel. It's not the restaurant. There's a motel there too. The restaurant I'm not too fond of, but I'm not into that food. But the Quality Inn is the hotel, and you get images. I've shown some of the images that, on some of my other videos. But when you I got to be careful of doing this because I tried doing this before. Never mind, I can't do it because it's gonna kill my. I get my bandwidth, and then it just kills my bandwidth. But anyways, this is what the yard in Sudbury looks like today. Very busy. That's my kind of yard. I mean, and then when you look at, here, I gotta go out to that, or else I'll kill everything. When you go a little further out and see where all that comes from, this is the kind of thing that you're looking at. You see? But there's more than just one. There's tons. When you start zooming out in the area, you'll start seeing that there's quite a bit. There's I mean, this whole area. I mean, you can see the copper, you can see, the nickel. This whole area is full of resources and mines. So you run one local at a time. It's challenging, but yet it's not overwhelming. You can run a local in a night, get it back. You can run one local, every day of the week, and if you have like a couple people, boom. That to me is what is more intriguing. And then you're not dealing with necessarily like, I mean, I could extend the main line or have the main line run for a little ways. There's three lines. There's Huron Central, a former CP line that runs through here, and then there's the Cartier sub. There's Nickel sub, which runs to Inco or whatever the hell it's called now. I can't remember. But it's a fun area. And the Waterloo Regional here. I don't know if that's their website anymore. Yeah. So I was here, and then when you look at the let's see here, operations. Come on. Yeah. So this is what it looks like. You got all these. You got this mine, that mine. Some of these don't exist anymore, but you go further outside the region, and you got stuff. Espanola, Edie Lumber Plant. They're different names now. The Nickel Sub has the various like Clarabelle. Creighton has a mine. So I mean, not so much today. Falcon Bridge, I was up there. I had a video that showed that as the screen. You see the Falcon Bridge Tower. I was into here and flying over, and there's a lot into there. You got the Perry Sound sub that comes off of here. You got the old Transcon to North Bay. Now this is now run by a short line operator out to a long ways. So it's not just a short line, but it actually is a short line that runs a long distance, which is kind of cool. But then there's like two trains a day beyond Falcon Bridge, so it's not a big deal. Ditto with McCarroll that goes to Sault Ste. Marie. That's run by Huron Central. This section's gone. This no longer exists past Espanola, but it still has the industry paper plant Espanola. And then there's I don't think there's too many other things in there anymore. These other mines I'm not too sure about. Levac's still there. I don't think that's there anymore. But it's still a cool area. Even if you model in the 70s, it's pretty neat. But it's fun to operate. But anyways, I'm gonna quit rambling along and end this for now. It's been an hour and 12 minutes, but I just wanted to give you guys an update. I'll post on Discord for those that haven't seen this, obviously, so they know what I'm up to or what I'm not up to. And I'm going to do something else this morning because I just don't feel like doing anything with trains. But as you know, it might be dying off. I mean, I've done trains for years, so who knows? Maybe it doesn't appeal to me anymore or something, or it's gotten old. But still, I mean, anytime we go on a trip, we always think of some place where there's trains, so that's where we tend to go. But there's other things I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying sailing, exploring, all the other stuff. That's kind of intriguing to me. So I don't sail personally, but I'd love to. Driving trips, exploring new areas. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun summer. So, anyways, that's all for now, guys. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later. See ya.